All right, here we go. What is it? It's November 6th. Hard to believe. We got daylight savings back again. I hate this time of year. I hate going out 5 o'clock and it's already getting dark. But anyway, today we're going to talk about a little thing called making money. And I know that's probably of interest to a lot of you. And some of you, and I don't know this for sure, but I have a hunch that some of you are still not making money.
A little
With
bit.
all the things at your disposal, you're still not making money.
Mm.
And that's what I want to address today. And I've said this, many times. You don't have to have a fully flushed out program to start making money. You can start making money like today. And I have proof of this because I was sitting here in my office just the other day, and I've got these big screens so I can see out and everybody can see in. And there's two twins that live two doors down. So I see the twins on the sidewalk and they see me and they wave and they came up to my screen and they said, "Hey, do you want to buy some lemonade?" And I'm like, "Sure." I mean, what kind do you have? And they go, "Well, we don't have it, but we'll make it if you'll buy it." And I'm like, damn, these kids took a lesson right out of my playbook. And I swear to God, within 10 minutes, they found a lemon tree in the neighborhood and they got the sugar and whatever from their mom and they made me lemonade. And then I go out about an hour later and they've got a lemonade stand out on the sidewalk and they're freaking selling lemonade. This is two little girls. And
So
guess
you were
what?
their proof of concept.
Yeah, guess what? They didn't have lemonade. What they had was somebody that would give them money to make some, right? That's what you need. And I want to really punch a point home here. Making money is about sales. It's not so much about building products and making a program and getting everything dialed in and having everything perfect. That's not what it's about. It's about selling. And I have another hunch. I have another hunch that some of you don't want to sell. And if that's the case, this probably is going to be really difficult for you because, money makes the world go round. And sales is what makes the money that makes the world go round. So if you want the world to go around, you're going to have to make some sales. And if you don't want to make sales and you still want to be in business and you want to, do this thing, then you're going to need to be creative. You're going to need to, like some of the things you could do, you could hire a salesperson. You could farm it out. You could do like I'll be totally honest with you. Sales is not my thing. I don't really like sales. I'm not saying that I'm not good at it. It's just not my favorite thing to do. It never has been. Running ads, again, not my favorite thing to do. Uh, that is why I've always said this. I've always said this, from day one. Most of the money that I've brought in over the years has been from other people's lists. That's another thing about me. I don't like to work hard. Like building a list, going out and creating all the assets to build a list and running ads and all of this crap. It's a lot of work. Like I'm very anti-work. There's a lot of people that love it. A lot of people that get up in the morning and they just, they're on fire. They just want to work hard. And I'm like, God bless them. That's awesome. It's just not me. But those people They're working hard because they want to make money too. And what I bring to them is I would rather make a sale to the one person and get a whole bunch of customers than go out and do that over and over and over. I don't like Groundhog Day. Like, have you guys seen the movie Groundhog Day where it wakes up and it's the same day over and over and over? I just wouldn't work very well in a world like that. So I want stuff new and fresh and easy. So what I'll do is I'll reach out to that guy that loves to work hard or that gal that loves to work hard, and she and or he has worked their ass off to build this big list. Why do you think they did that? Why do you suppose they built that list? The whole point of them building that list was to make money with it. They probably have their own product and they make money selling that product. But then after the fact, the really smart ones realize there's a lot of money that could be made with the list after they sell their product to them. That's where I come in. And I say, hey, I have a complimentary product to the people on your list. How would you like me to put some money in your pocket? And usually they'll say, that would be really cool. I mean, I almost never get denied when I have a conversation with somebody and ask them if I can give them some money, right? Usually that's a positive outcome. They're like, yeah, what do I have to do? I say, well, the only thing you really have to do is introduce me to your list. Let's have a webinar. I will teach them something. I'll give them a lot of value. I'll endorse you. I'll lean on you for credibility for me, and I'll make them an offer at the end and we'll split it. And that's hardly ever denied. Very rare will I get somebody that says, no, that doesn't sound good to me. The only reason that somebody would say that doesn't sound good to me is if they thought you were competing with them. Then maybe, but like I said, I always use complementary, not competing. I have something that would help your audience. You've already sold to them. Why not make a little bit more money from them? And what I'm doing here, I'm actually making a presentation. If you want to get somebody to say yes and do something for you, whether it's buy your product or promote you or whatever you want, that's a sale. That's a sales process. You need to figure out how to communicate your value. It's no different than making a marketing funnel to sell a product. It's the same thing. You got to have on the front, you got to have an attention grabber. So for me, an attention grabber might be as simple as, "Hey, can I put some money in your pocket?" That usually gets people's attention, right? That usually gets them to say, "Yeah, tell me about that." And that's exactly what you want. That's all you're looking for in your attention grabber. You're just getting them to look at what you've got. If you can't get them to look at what you've got, it's game over. That's the end of the show. You're going to have to try and find somebody else to talk to. So, and this is the same thing. I've talked about this over and over and over. You grab attention, you create demand and desire. This is the part of your presentation where you tell them what you've got, what it's going to do for you, what you want them to do next. That creates a demand for what you're offering. It basically provides them the value that you're going to provide them, and then at the end of that, you make an offer. Now, part of providing the value is also identifying and eliminating objections, and then you provide an offer at the end. So you need to really take this to heart. That's how you sell. And that literally a sale, depending on how big the offer is. A lot of you have, and I heard this from somebody in one of the mastermind groups. They said, you need a simple, and this goes to Tim, he's always simple, easy. right? That's the stuff he sells. You need a simple, easy offer. And a simple, easy offer is a very small ask. It's like, hey, I've got this thing that'll help you. It's $20. You don't need a big sales presentation to sell a $20 thing. Like take the twins, for instance. It was a cup of lemonade. They didn't need to pitch me on it. They didn't need to tell me what kind of lemons they were. They didn't need to tell me how large the cup was. They didn't need to tell me that it was pink lemonade, right? It was $1. It was an easy, simple offer. Do you want some lemonade? Sure. And then they go into production and make it. So you've got to get past the putting off the sales. You have to get over that. If you want money to flow through your door, you're going to have to ask for it. You're going to have to either do that physically or automate the process. Now, for those of you that are a little introverted, I get it. You know, that was totally me in the beginning. I was totally introverted. I didn't want to talk to anybody. Like my brother always did the sales and then I would do the production. I never had to deal with people. And I love that, but that requires, again, he was my salesperson. So if you don't have a salesperson or you don't want to get a salesperson, it's all going to lean back on you. Again, I'm still in the same boat. I still don't really like doing sales, right? So now I don't have him to lean on. He's passed away. So I'm on my own. So I would prefer still to lean on someone else, which is why I'll find somebody that has a list. There's a lot of people out there that have lists of the perfect customers for me, and they're all struggling. They all need stuff. The guy with the list doesn't provide what I'm providing, or he would have already provided it. He would have already made that money. Like he might sell them a website, for instance, and that's what he does. And then I come along and I say, hey, you've got all these customers that have these websites. I have an ADA widget. You can protect them from malicious lawsuits. How would you like me to come in and talk about that to your audience, all of your customers, and then I'll sell them my solution and we'll split the profit. He's going to say hell yeah. He's going to say hell yeah to that. You know, we just released, you guys were on here, I think most of you are on here last week. We released the Optimancer program. How many webmasters are out there building websites? How many people are providing hosting? They've got massive lists of customers that are needing this and they don't even know about it. Like there's a lot of people that build websites that have lists of customers. Maybe they only have 100 customers. Maybe they've only got 50. Maybe they're just getting started. But wherever they are, they want more money. They want to make more money. And one of the biggest things, like Frank Kern talks about this all the time. He says, for you to make more money, you don't have to go out and get more customers. You just have to sell the customers you have more stuff. You have to provide more value. So you don't have to even run ads. You can use existing lists to make more money. If you don't have a list, like I said, go find somebody that has a list that you can provide the value. You don't even have to build anything. Like those twins, did they have to build a storefront? Did they have to go and buy the desks and the cups and all that shit? They just went and got them. you know, you don't have to build anything. There is people right in your general vicinity that have everything that you need. You could, like, let's say, let's take the Optimancer as a perfect example. I don't know of any person that owns a website that's doing business that would not want to be visible to search engines or to new AI engines, right? That's pretty much a no-brainer. If you ask the customer, or let's say a business owner that has a website, if you ask them, hey, would it be okay if I sent people to your website? You think they're going to say no? If you ask them better questions like, hey, if you had people coming to your website that were from the new school that's called AI, these are better customers. These are people that ask a question and the AI actually sold them on you. This isn't like a search where they go and they run a keyword in there and it gives them a list of stuff on a page that they have to sift through and try and figure it out. When they go to AI now and they ask, like what's the best, vitamin B, it's going to tell them all the things they need to know about vitamin B. And then that person's going to say, well, what's the best brand? And I just did this. I just did this with a supplement, and it AI told me everything I needed to know about the supplement. And then I said, okay, well, what's the best brand? And it gave me the brand. It gave me three brands, and it said, here's the best one for this. Here's the best one for that. Here's the best one if you've, got acne, whatever. So I said, okay, cool. So I took that brand and the supplement that I wanted, and then I went to Google to search to find it. And I'll be damned, there was like 30 different versions of it. I'm like, shit, that doesn't answer my question still. Back to the AI, I said, look, there's a lot of brands for this, or there's one brand, there's a lot of different options. Please recommend, based on this is my requirements. Please recommend not only the exact one, but a link to purchase it. And I'll be damned, it gave me a link on Amazon to order exactly what I wanted. Now, how valuable is that for Amazon? I didn't have to go to Amazon and try and figure out what I wanted. I went there to purchase it. That's the difference between AI referring you and a search engine referring you. The customer is 100 times more likely to purchase from you. So if you ask the website owner and you just basically gave them that scenario, how would you like those people to come visit your website? The people that actually have a credit card in their hand and they're ready to make a purchase. You don't even
John,
need a
could you repeat
sales phone.
that? Could you repeat that, please? The last point on how you,
So basically, I went through a scenario there so they could understand a real life story and paint themselves into it. I gave them the whole scenario of me looking for a supplement and the frustration I had and the fact that if I asked the AI, it would just give me a link to go purchase it. So when you're talking to a business owner, people know now that search is conceptually fantastic. Yeah, I want a lot of people coming to my website, but most of them aren't qualified. Most of them haven't gotten to a buying decision yet. And most of you have funnels that absolutely suck and couldn't convince them to buy anything. So that traffic isn't really very valuable. Conceptually, it's awesome. Who wouldn't want it? We all want traffic, right? But not really. We all want sales. So when you give that scenario to the person and say, how would you like people coming to your site that have already made the purchasing decision and they're showing up on your site to buy, they're showing up to make a purchase? How would that be? What are those people worth? And then you basically say, this is open to anyone, but your website has to be it has to be optimized to be found in the AI. And if you're not going to do that optimization, you're not going to get to play this game. And all the people that are willing to do it are going to take those customers that are ready to buy stuff and they're going to remove them out of your universe. What's your day going to look like if those are all gone? Or what would your day look like if AI was sending you people that's ready to buy your stuff? You don't even need a sales funnel. You don't even need an offer. What you need is a purchase button so they can click it, give you their credit card, and get what they want. That would be pretty cool, right? How easy would that be to sell? How easy would it be to get somebody that had a list of websites they'd developed to make that offer? Pretty freaking easy, right? So Pam, go ahead. You had your hand up, and then we'll get Richard.
Yeah, I went and tried to deal with Optimancer, but it doesn't look like I have access with AIO, or you have to buy it or something. I don't know how
Yes.
much is it?
Yeah,
How does that work?
Optimancer is a completely different product than
Okay.
AIO Dominator. So we did, if you didn't see it, go back and watch last week's recording.
Yeah, I was there for half of it and I started watching it again, but I didn't see a way. So it's in there to get it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
I had Chris on. I'll actually show you because I've been playing around with getting ready to sell it. I did offer it to you guys. It hasn't officially been released yet, but if you guys want to play with it, you can get in on it. I do have the Black Friday deal up already. So let me share my screen and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay. All right. Let's get rid of that. So I went into Kartra and I just built a really quick page. Basically, this is not a page that's going to sell you on it because it's got minimum information. This is a page to order. This is not a sales presentation or a funnel by any stretch of the imagination. But what I needed something to give, basically to take an order. And that's what this page is. So I can put this page in the chat for you guys, for anybody that wants to jump in on it.
Thank you.
Again, it's not like going to educate you on it. We did that video last week that's pretty much the everything about what it is, what it
Yeah.
does, how it works. And then I thought this was interesting. I went out to Perplexity and I gave it a lot of information, and Perplexity actually wrote up a page. It wrote this page for me. And it actually gave it to me in HTML. And I thought, interesting, let me load this up. So I loaded the raw HTML up to my website. I put it in a folder called Optimancer and just named it index so it would show up. And it was pretty damn good. It had a headline here. It had a link to scroll you down to the order spot in the page. And then it has a lot of really compelling stuff. It had stats. You know, what's this say? 65% of Google searches never send anyone to a website anymore. So that was exactly my point of telling that story. People going to Google are frustrated. They're not finding what they want. So it's got, look at this one. Agencies offering AEO services get 450% ROI and charge 3,500 to 15,000 per month per client. I don't know if I buy that or not. That seems pretty inflated. But this is more like, this probably is accurate if you're talking about Fortune 500 companies. If you're talking about manufacturers, this is not going to be accurate numbers if you're going out to local businesses and small mom and pops. They're not going to be paying you 3,500 to 15,000. That's just not going to happen. That's not reality. But these agencies probably are shooting at bigger businesses. They're probably shooting at the Fortune 500s and all that. So it was an interesting stat. but I thought this is really cool. I can take this information and I can go back to Kartra and I can plug it in and make it look pretty and have myself, a full page. So pretty cool stuff. I can go back here and I can just, this site's already formatted for the look and feel, and I can just plug that other content in, and I'm up with a full sales page. Now I can run a webinar to it. And this brings up another thing. If you're looking to prospect, and this is something that Perry Belcher's been talking about a lot. He's been talking about this site called Lovable. And I figured, hey, I'll just test this out. I was talking to Linda the other day and she wanted a new site for her test drive freedom. So I went over to Lovable and I gave it some information, and it spit out this website. It doesn't have any images. I didn't give it the images, but I just wanted a framework and a site that was simple, clean, and it spit this HTML out. Now I can take this and I can hand it over to my dev team and say, hey guys, turn this into a WordPress site for me. But this literally was just like going to Chat GPT and telling it what you wanted, and it basically built you a website. It's Lovable. Lovable.dev, DEV. So if you're a web developer or you want to make money from selling websites, you could basically make them a comp in about 2 minutes. Give it to them and say, is this what you had in mind? Would you like us to develop this site for you, or do you want something different? And if they want something different, you can go back to Lovable, tell it what to change, get a new comp, and throw it back to them. This would save so much time and energy and cost on development. It's ridiculous. Because if you're actually paying a designer and you've got a customer that's finicky and you're sending, back and forth, you're racking up costs. You're eating into your profit. Whereas here, you can get them to sign off on the look and feel. Then you hand it over to the dev team and you basically cut the designer right out of your process. You saved a big chunk of money in your process. So that's a really cool deal.
John, I got an example for that too, if you want to see another one.
So yeah, I think that's good. Let me get to Richard. I got a couple more here. Richard, go ahead. You're muted out.
There we go. I think, can you hear me now?
There you go. Yeah, we got you.
I missed last week. Could you give me the 60-second elevator pitch on what this Optimancer thing is?
Sure. So Optimancer, it's basically a combination of a prospecting tool and a reporting tool and basically a fix it if you have a WordPress site tool. So what you do is you put a URL in and it will scan that site. It'll find all the pages, every page of the website, and it generates a big report. And if you get agency level, it'll put your brand on it. So it generates this big report that you could give to a client and say, and this goes to what I was talking about, like optimizing for AI. You could give that to a client and say, here's the stuff that you would need to do to get AI to recognize you and potentially pass people through. So this is what it would take to make you visible in AI search. And you say, this is a free gift. Take this, give it to your webmaster, and have him implement these changes for you. Now, 9 out of 10 people are going to say, webmaster? I don't have a webmaster. Could you just do that for me? Right? And if they say, can you do that for me? Optimancer has a WordPress plugin, and you install the plugin and it basically does the stuff right there for you with one click. And the things that it does, it'll generate the LLM file and install it on their website. It will generate the schema codes for all the pages and install them in their WordPress site. And for each page of content in the site, it'll create an FAQ based on answer first methodology for the AI and install it on each page of that website. So that's really all the plugin does so far. It does those three things, but those are the three biggest things in the report that you don't have, that if you want to be seen in AI, this is what you need to do. So free service, have your webmaster do it. If not, we can offer it for you if you don't have a webmaster. That's probably going to get you a lot of business. That's going to open up a lot of doors. Now, if you have a web dev team, you might also say, hey, your website kind of looks like somebody built it in 95. Is that about accurate? And they might say, yeah. I go, well, we have a dev team. If you want us to fix that while we're at it, we can do that for you. I mean, they've already opened the wallet. It's much easier to ask for another sale right at that point. That's why upsells are so effective. It's
What
like
do you charge? What are you proposing that you charge for that service? Is it a monthly recurring, or what is that?
we have it set up where it is monthly recurring because the site keeps getting scanned. Like our Optimancer will continue to monitor the site, and if the site gets updated, it'll automatically update and all that. This is a really cool feature that we've built into it. Because you are the owner of the plugin is actually operated through the Optimancer control panel. So you are in control of that plugin, even if they decide to lock you out of their WordPress site. You don't actually ever need access to their WordPress site. You can just tell them, just install this plugin and we'll do it for you. So you don't ever have to have access to their WordPress site, but you're in control of that plugin. So let's say you're charging them, and let's say you're charging them something really reasonable. Let's say you're charging them like $50 a month to keep their site optimized for AI. That's pretty reasonable. I never saw anything in the SEO world for $50 a month. So let's say you're charging them $49.95 a month. And all of a sudden, like 6 months down the road, they say, yeah, I don't want to pay for this anymore. Okay, no problem. We'll just uninstall it for you. And as soon as you do, all the stuff that it was doing gets removed. And now all of a sudden they're no longer visible in the AI. That's a big punch. That was never available in SEO because I know any of you that ever supplied SEO services, you worked your butt off to get them ranked. And then all of a sudden they could come in and throw you to the curb and you had no way to take that ranking away. They got to take it with them and go on vacation and leave you sitting in the mud, which really sucked. From a business point, that wasn't a really good situation or a good feeling. But now here you are in total control. You can say, oh, no problem. We'll just remove the plugin for you. We'll do that as a service on the way out the door. And it's going to be instant. They're going to feel the results of that instantly. If AI is sending them any kind of traffic, it's going to stop because AI does not work with sites that don't have schema and LLM files. Just plain and simple. They can't read it. They don't understand it. It's no longer the best thing to send traffic to. So they're going to send it somewhere else. So instant, and like talk about stick a fork in them. You could never do that with SEO. You know, their SEO might drop off, but it was going to take a long time and they wouldn't really feel it. There wouldn't be any like point in time where they say, "Oh, yeah, that was a bad idea."
Well, and your beta testing has it showing good results? Is it actually doing what you're hoping it's going to do in your beta and all that?
Yeah, we actually, this was really cool. The way this was developed, it was developed for a client that actually paid us 60 grand to optimize their site for AI. And this is the exact way I started in SEO. I got some big customers that funded the research. And Chris has been working on this because, he was basically in charge of doing the actual optimization for the 60 grand client. And he's as lazy as I am. He didn't want to do it. So we kind of got our heads together and say, okay, we got somebody that's going to fund the programming to have us build this and then we'll have it forever. So that's where it came from. And that site it's a big commerce site. And yeah, they're very happy with the results from it. So it's pretty cool. And Perry Belcher just did a 3-day event last week, and he was talking about this. I don't know if you were on there or not, but they're calling it AEO, which I think that's going to be a hard press for the general public to get their head around answer engine when they consider it AI. We're just calling it AIO, AI optimization. I think it's much easier to understand. I don't like to go against the grain. Now, that being said, you guys probably remember when I was anti WordPress, right? I wouldn't let a client come near WordPress. And then the situations changed enough that I was no longer against it and I was for it because of the situations changing. The reason I kept people out of it was I thought it was a threat to them. And once the threat was clear, I looked at it again. I'm like, okay, that's a pretty good option, especially based on where everything is now. For those of you that are in Go High Level, you guys know I have not felt good about Go High Level since the beginning. And yesterday I heard the first of the hammers to drop. And it was actually on a mastermind call with Daryl that he put together. And one of the guys on there, he came through and he said, "Yeah," he goes, "I just got notice from Go High Level that they're requiring me now to charge a minimum price, or they're going to charge me for all the websites I've built on here." And I'm like, I've been saying that since day one. They were going to change the rules on that because it was not sustainable. And then the hammer dropped. So that's going to hurt a lot of people. A lot of people that built their entire business model around that offering, and now it's gone, or it's moving out. It's going to be gone soon.
And you
And
can say, I
basically,
told you so.
yeah, basically, I get to write my "I told you so" letter out to everybody. But, you know, that's why I have when I have something that I'm not for, there's generally a reason. And a lot of times the reasons go much deeper than the superficial, like it looks good on the top. So anyway, I don't know where I started off with that. Bring me back to line, Richard. Where were we?
I just wanted the overview and a little bit of just the overview of what you're doing there. And
Oh,
are you
gotcha.
saying it generates all those pages? I'm guessing through AI, it creates all those LLM pages and the answer first pages and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's not actually creating pages. It's analyzing the pages that you have. And LLM, there's only one LLM file for the site. It goes in your index folder for the main website. It's kind of like a robots.txt file that when the AI comes to look at your site, it looks to that for instructions. It's like that gives it the instructions of what pages are for the public, what pages are private, what pages should and shouldn't be looked at for referring people to. Like you might have a bunch of non-disclosure pages and stuff that, it's there because it has to be for compliance, but that's not stuff you really want to rank for. So you're basically, the LLM file is saying, yeah, disregard this section of the website. It's not important to you. So you're helping it understand the content. That's what the robots TXT file did for SEO, for search engines. And that's what the LLM file is doing for the AI for their engines. So that's a one file thing on the website. It creates it and installs it. You don't need WordPress. A lot of people ask me, what if I have a Shopify store? It'll work on any website. It doesn't matter what it's built in. It's just with WordPress, we have the way to automate the updates. So it would generate the file, and then you could just go over to your Shopify store and plug it into the site. I'm not familiar with Shopify, so I can't give you like the step by step on how to do that. But wherever you can plug in code into that site, you find that, you paste it in, you're good to go.
Yeah, I was in Terry's 3-day training on that just so that I knew what's going on and that sort of stuff. And one of the things they realized is that nobody really knows how it works yet. I mean, this is like this is before Google was a search engine level of when you're
Uh-huh.
coming into the market. So they're trying to figure
Yeah.
out still how a lot of it works.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Well,
are you following his model?
not exactly, because we're pretty far ahead of where he's at and understanding how it works.
Oh,
And
excellent.
and I don't know if you were in on his thing Monday, but his guy Julian, I think his name's Julian.
Yeah.
It's an odd spelling, but anyway, he was taking Q&A, and I got on there and I asked him. I said, "Yeah, I have a question for you. Would you like to play around with a new tool that we've created with a WordPress plugin that basically does all the stuff that you've talked about over the last 3 days?" And when that perked his interest, and when I described what it did, um, I I could tell he was like, "Yeah, I would love to see that." But yeah, it has a lot of similarity. And Chris actually did some really heavy research on this. Chris and I go way back in SEO, uh, to before Yahoo was even around. And we understand foundationally how the engines work. Chris actually was part of Google's team. Google actually hired him to develop some of the initial algorithms to make Google a better search engine than what all else was out there. And they hired him for that. And then they actually hired me to come in and see if I could break it. And I did. So we go back pretty far in SEO, in the SEO world. And what he's discovered by his deep dive and his research is there's an awful lot about what the AI attributes to who they're going to rank that's identical parallel to SEO. In fact, in this report, the way the report is generated, and you should go back and look at last week's, because Chris ran a report and he went into all the sections. It doesn't just give you the optimization for AI, it gives you the optimization for SEO as well. And it actually gives not only the what you're looking at, the score, but it actually goes conceptually into why that's important. And then for a webmaster, it tells them exactly how to fix it, like how to implement that. And there is 60, I think he said there was 64 or 65 different categories for the SEO. And this is just like the beginning times of SEO. Was Yahoo originally came out with the standards. Yahoo was open because Yahoo was not a search engine yet. Yahoo was an alphabetical directory, but it was the biggest point of traffic on the planet at the time. And they came out and they said, hey, if you want to do well in the internet marketing, here's what you have to do to your website. And they gave a blueprint of exactly the standards of how a website was to be built. And it was a perfect blueprint of SEO. And to this day, I've never heard anyone talk about that. I've never heard anybody give credit where credit is due for where the standards came from for SEO. And every engine from that point forward was found to be in compliance with that in some way, shape, or form. But they had 64 criteria that they laid out for here's what you need to do to build the perfect website. And a lot of it was not necessarily for search, a lot of it was for your customers. It was about user experience, which what did most people find out after all of their gamey tricks expired? They found out it was about the user experience. They spent decades trying to game the system with a bunch of hokey crap when they could have just built the website properly to begin with. And if you had done that, if you had developed your site and you followed all those rules, what would have happened for you is every time there was an algorithm change, which Google got really good at this because they did them uh, basically on an automated basis. They were rolling out algorithm changes almost on a daily basis. If you had everything right and you didn't have anything wrong, it didn't matter how they changed. You were going to be pushed up when they moved the garbage out of your way. Because that's what all those algorithm shifts were. They were to get rid of the garbage. If you had no garbage, they were moving the garbage out of your way so you could take the spot that you deserved. And AI is going to be no different. Maybe AI is not looking at all 64 of those things right now, but I can almost assure you it's going to learn them on the way. So if you do the SEO right to begin with right now, based on this report, you not only will be ranking yourself in the search engines, but you will be positioned for the entire future of AI. As it evolves, it's going to move the garbage out of the way and you're going to go to the top where you belong because you did it right.
What year did Yahoo put those specs out?
I don't remember the exact year, but it was before 2000. It was somewhere in the mid to late 90s. But I remember I saw it. I got the notice on it and I looked at it and I'm like, wow, this is a blueprint for the future here. I identified that like right out of the gate. And I immediately started implementing that for all my clients. And those clients ranked for decades. I never had to go in and redo anything. Like everybody says, oh, you got to constantly do SEO. Well, that was a complete crock of shit. I did it right from the beginning, and every time they did the updates, it just moved the garbage out of the way. And my commercial clients just kept going up and up and up. You know, some spammy techniques had come in and they'd get moved down, but then another algorithm shift would come and blow the crap out of the way and up they'd go again. And I never in my entire career, which was pretty long in SEO, in my entire career, I never had a customer site penalized or banned. Not once, not ever. There was some sites that I built myself that I got banned intentionally because I wanted to find out where the where the cliffs were. So I would push them until they actually went over the cliff so I knew where the cliffs were. But those were my sites. Those were play sites. And when I showed Perry Belcher my my methodology back in like, I think it was like 2009 or 10, somewhere in there. He'd never seen anything like it. He's like, wow, he goes, you're the real deal in this stuff. And he was really shocked at the level that I went to figure out like what you could and couldn't do. And my certainty, he was blown away by my absolute certainty for what was and what was going to be. And it was right on.
Yeah, I remember you released Rainmaker about 2010.
Hmm. Yeah, that was when I said, the future of this is user experience, and he who can control that will control the rankings. And that Rainmaker program, that was 2010 when we put that out. And that is what is now SitePop. It's the same program. It's just morphed over the years and we changed the name of it. But it's the longest running effective SEO software that I know of. It's still working now. And then I really wanted to morph that into what we could do with AI, but there was too many differences. So we just came out with Optimancer. And I asked Chris, I said, where'd you come up with the name? Because he actually named it. I said, where did you come up with the name? And I said, I think I know, and I know how I'm going to spend the branding on it, but tell me if I'm right. And he said, I was wrong. He just basically got it. It was recommended from AI, and it was the one he liked the best. And I said, well, here's how we're going to spin it. Optimancer is the romancer for AI. It's how we're going to get the AI to fall in love with your site. We're going to use Optimancer to romance the AI and get it to fall in love. And he loved the idea. He loved the spin on it. But I wish I could say that's what the intent was, but that was just what I came up with. He came up with the name. I came up with the spin. So, all right, Arba, go ahead.
All right. So I was here last week. So I saw the whole presentation and heard everything, but I had to jump off before I could ask my question
Okay.
because there were some suggestions around using it as a lead magnet.
Yes.
And okay, so how could I use it as a lead magnet when if I was like trying this out and the three offers that you have, the first one only has one project.
Correct.
So if I'm trying to do a report for someone to show them the value of it or something, then I've used up my one project.
Correct. But inside the program, you set up your one project, but then once you run that project and you get the full analysis on the project, there's another button for analyze competition, which will allow you to run a new report on a competitor's site, which you can put any website you want in there. So you can generate more reports. And then you give those reports out as your lead magnet.
Okay, so then so the one project would be like what, my own website?
Well, for me, it's whoever's going to pay me to do it.
And then I could use as many other competitor reports.
Yes, you can generate an unlimited amount of competitor reports and you can use those to prospect new customers.
Gotcha.
But
Okay,
it gets even better. It
I'm
gets even
listening.
better. As we went through that process and we kind of brainstormed, Chris said, I could make a widget that you could put on your site to run the reports right off of your website. And so for the agency level, since it's white label branded, we're going to make the widget where you can put the widget on your actual website, run the report that will send them the report with your branding on.
Yeah, but I'm thinking in that case though, what would stop someone from running that report and then if they had their own dev team or whatever,
That's
then
okay.
well then that's not a lead.
Well, here's the
They
way
just showed you they don't want to be your client.
I know. It's like
They're
that's
gonna rob from you somewhere else. Say goodbye and wish them well.
So if
but
you want them on your list, here's how you get them on the list. And it's super simple. I do this all day long with Kartra. So I will create a landing page on Kartra that offers them the free report. They click to get the free report. That pops up a box. Where should we send it? They put
gotcha.
their name and email. Now that goes right into your database. And then the thank you page comes up that has the widget on that page. So the widget
Mhm.
is only on the thank you page.
That's a better way to do it.
So that's how you would do it, as a true lead magnet if you want to generate leads. But
Right.
like Tim said, this basically pre-qualifies them. Because remember I said generate the report and give it to them. Give it to them and say, "Hey, have your webmaster do this for you." And you know what that is? That is actually a psychological buying trigger. If you went through my 20 buying triggers,
Hmm.
who can tell me what buying trigger that is? I'll give you guys 3 seconds. Three,
Some kind of aversion or something,
two,
right? It's an aversion or
one. It's called reciprocity.
oh.
It's look up the buying trigger reciprocity. That's exactly what it is. You're giving it
Mhm.
to them. You're not expecting or asking for anything in return. It builds incredible trust and rapport.
It's what does Frank Kern say? It's like show them you can actually help them by actually helping them
Yeah. Give them 90%. They'll come
and
back.
let them come to you for the 10.
Yeah, they'll pay you an exorbitant amount to get the last 10%. If you can get them 90% of the way to where they want, the last 10% is the value.
Hmm.
And you're holding that back.
Well, I guess the real key in this situation too, though, is that I'm not doing any upfront work to do that because
Exactly.
you're using the Optimancer to do that.
I'm letting you
Mhm.
be as lazy as I am.
My husband says I'm already that right now, so
Oh, well, it's fun. I don't remember who I was talking to, but the other day I said something about how slow I am. I'm not fast at anything. I was never a fast mover in any way, shape, or form in anything in my life. And she said, "Well, you might not be a fast mover, but you damn sure cover some ground." So that is pure optimization in the rawest form. Do the minimum amount of effort and the maximum amount of return out of it. That's optimization of your life. So, right. That get you
thank-
covered.
yeah, thank you. I did that. That was really my question. It makes sense. Thank you.
All right, Daryl, go
Hey
ahead.
John, how you doing, man?
Good.
Yeah, so I was on a call this morning with this client I'm working with, and they know, I mean, this guy knows how I'll just, I'm not some I don't know, arrogant, but how smart I am at this stuff. And I was going through, I've been working on his website, and it was kind of a weird situation. The guy who came in to work with us to do the site back, I think in like August or July, he actually passed away, unfortunately. It was just literally like Tuesday night, I'm helping him with his branding and we're working on the package and what it's going to look like for the company and stuff. And great guy. And he's got about 30 clients under his rep. And the next day, I can't get a hold of him, don't hear from him. I get a call like after that for a text message from his wife saying he passed away. And I
Oh,
was like, holy shit. Um,
I've had that many times. I had a customer. I
yeah.
just finished a site for him, and he went on vacation. And he said, could you put a forwarding or not a forwarder, but an auto response on my email till I get back?" And I'm like, "Sure." So I knew he was going to be gone for like a week. A week goes by and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm probably going to hear from him to cut the autoresponder off. And then 2 weeks goes by. So I called him to say, "Hey, did you forget about the autoresponder?" And his wife told me that he was diving on their vacation and he didn't come up from the dive.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's like so
This
surreal.
this guy had a heart attack like that night or something like that, or later the next morning, whatever it was. But he was like just gone all of a sudden. Well,
Yeah.
the reason I'm sharing that with you guys is because all of the passwords and everything was locked in his computer, so none of his clients had access to anything.
Oh,
And it's been a nightmare a little bit. So the kind of fast forward, and it's kind of cool talking about this with you today is, here it is, this company I'm talking to them this morning, they have no idea who I am. The lady didn't even ask who I was. And she got on there and talked about how awesome she was and all this stuff, blah, 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 and how she had messaged me and the owner of the company like a couple times, like, hey, your website's a top priority for us, and we're looking at it and all this stuff, whatever. So I get on the call and I just asked her some really basic questions and she couldn't answer it. And I just pointedly asked, she's like, well, how much have you actually looked at this website? Oh, just this past 5 minutes. And I was like, then how is this a top priority if this is what you're telling me with all this stuff or whatever? And I
yeah.
was like, what? And she was telling me like how she can't actually even do a lot of SEO stuff on there, and we're just gonna get the website live and this and that, blah blah. And I just stopped her at that point. I was like, I don't think so. I don't agree with what you're saying at all. First of all, and I said I'd like to actually see your report on what you're actually gonna do, like moving forward. If you have all this experience and blah blah, all this stuff you said, you're gonna at least give us some kind of report that tells us like what exactly you're gonna do. And this lady's like, and let's get back to you kind of situation. I'm just like, okay. And I know that lady's going to be sitting on, no, she's got at least 30 clients because that's the guy who passed. She took over his business.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this as like, my question to you, John, is like, what's the best way for one of us, like on this call, everybody who would be selling Optimancer, how do we sell that to that? How would I approach that lady? To then pitch her in the sense of like, hey, you need that. I'll run the report on this website and show her the actual tool so she can see it, and she's gonna be like, holy shit. I'm like, uh-huh. I was just like,
Yeah.
so what's the
Well,
best way? Is that a is that a
so
reseller account, or like what's the process, I guess, a little bit in doing that?
well, you have two ways to go.
Okay.
You could sell it to her just as an affiliate, like if you just wanted to get the affiliate commission and
Yeah.
that's it. That's one way to go. That would allow her to get an actual white label of it. So if that would be the case where you want to give her a white label, you would just do that as an affiliate. If you wanted to come in and do a service for her to resell your services, you could do that as well. And the way I would pitch that is I would come in and I would approach her as, hey, you've got a really nice client list that's, you're probably making a comfortable living off of.
Mhm.
How would you like to add probably one of the most high demand services ever to your customers and make the profit off it? And if she says no, say, well, you know what's going to happen if you don't do this? And I'm not saying you have to do it with me, but if you don't do this, somebody's going to come and they're going to take those customers away from you.
Mhm.
Because every webmaster, this is a service every webmaster is going to want
Gonna
badly.
need, yeah.
And if you're not the one providing it for them, now they have a new secret person whispering in their ear. And they're
Yep.
probably going to move them away from you.
Hmm.
So you can really have some high point of leverage on that with getting them to say yes. And whether you sell them a white label or through an affiliate, or whether you're just going to sell them the services, you can make it super simple for them. Say, look, I'm just going to give you a report to give to each one of your customers, and then here's the sales pitch, here's the amount, here's the wholesale cost to you. You're going to make the difference. Your customer never knows about me. They just know they're buying the service directly from you. I'm just your vendor.
Okay. So would I hook their clients' credit cards up to the account, or would it be their credit card hooked to the account?
No, you're not involved in the customer at all with
Okay,
that scenario. So when you're an agency or you're basically providing services to that other agency, you're a vendor.
got it.
So that's I've always done that. I've always positioned myself as a vendor for other SEO guys, SEO
Hmm.
agencies. So I provide them services in the back end that their customers never know anything about me. I'm not involved in the billing. I basically bill them a wholesale rate and then they turn around and sell it to their customer for whatever they want.
Okay.
I
So we
don't
would,
dictate the price. I let them make whatever margin they want in the middle.
got it. We could turn around and say, hey, it's $100, and they can turn around and sell for 200 or 300 or whatever they want.
Exactly.
Got
You
it.
can give them a recommended because they're always going to ask, like, what should we sell it for? What are other people
Yeah.
selling it for?
Well, that's the other side of it too. Like, I mean, I've set up and spent a lot of time learning about how to do all the AI agents and bots for voice and text and all the stuff
Yeah.
and it could be on Go High Level or it could be off Go High Level. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So
But
you're basically building the same thing. You're building an agency of
yeah,
services to provide to people.
yeah. And I just make it so that you guys want to use this or not use that. What's
Yeah.
a good price point you think for offering it to people out there? I don't really not sure where to price LM services. I mean, I sell SEO services are selling for easy $1,500 to $2,500 a month. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this allows you it allows you a process that is really inexpensive for you to fulfill.
mhm.
So it allows you, like, I know you're a Perry Belcher follower, and one of the things that both Ryan and Perry have said for years is he who can acquire a customer for the least amount of money is going to win
Yeah,
because you'll get all of them. So if you don't go in with the intent of saying, well, how much can I get out of this small number of customers? And you go in with how many customers could I acquire if I only charge this much? I think you'll be better off in the long run.
hmm,
Because it could be a big door opener for you. Like if you have the lowest cost service and the most effective service for optimizing AI at a time when other people are gouging them, because this
yeah,
is this is gouge time right now.
yeah,
Like,
definitely gotcha time.
like this is like the beginning of SEO, the beginning of web development. Like people were paying tens of thousands of dollars to get a website built that should have been a few $100, right?
Yeah,
And it took them decades to realize they had overpaid.
hmm,
So you're going to have all the price gougers coming into this marketplace. They're going to come out of the woodwork because this is just like rolling the clock back to the early days of SEO, and they're just going to be foaming at the mouth to jump in and consume that.
yeah.
So if you go in, I think you'd have a really good opportunity to not do the price gouging and come in and just acquire a massive, massive
Amount of people.
database of customers.
What do you think a good price point is for something like that right now?
I would say I would say like anything under $500
Okay.
a month.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
And then you're selling it to us right now as a reseller. So we have like the dashboard and all this. I haven't got a chance to watch the video. I got the
Yeah.
link from thanks Kevin posting that.
Yeah,
So I'll go back and watch that.
you're basically getting, let's see, on the agency, you're getting 20 projects for $127.
Okay.
So that's pretty damn cheap.
Yeah,
That's what, about
100%.
$6 a piece,
Mhm.
which is in line with what we charged for Site Pop. Our agencies paid about $6 a project, and then they could turn around and sell it for a couple hundred or even just give it to their SEO customers that were paying them $1,000 a month or 2,000,
Yeah. And
whatever.
that can be just additional services to add on, but get
Mhm.
in the door with the monkey's paw with the LLM stuff, you
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
And then the $127, we could just add more projects on it, I'm assuming.
Correct. Yeah, you can buy a la carte after you use up the 20. But like to
Well,
ARPA's point, it's the 20 projects are basically that's where you're installing the WordPress plugin, you're generating the full-blown report for how to do
mhm,
it, like the webmaster report and all that. The initial report is like a prospecting report. It gives
got
them
it.
the basics and it's to hook them in. And you can
So
do
all
that.
I need for that is just a website URL.
Yeah. And you can do that under any project that you have. You just go to the tab that says competitor analysis, and you just, that's your prospecting report, is the competitor analysis. So
Okay.
you can generate as many of those as you want.
Is there a way for somebody to circumvent going around you for then like essentially like, okay, I'm selling the service to the person, let's just say shits and giggles for $100 to in an agency, right?
Mhm.
And then the agency's going out and selling it for 500 or whatever they're going to do. Um, I could sell it to individuals for, 300 or whatever, you know what I mean? But
Yeah. Well,
uh,
you won't have me to compete with because I'm not offering this as services. We're just offering the software.
yeah. Well, it's not talking about competing with people here or just in a group even. I mean, just like if is there a way, like let's say this company I'm working with is an agency and they've got like 30 clients that are just sitting there, would they go around a back door and then contact you somehow? Is there a way to see through the software it comes back to you or
Well,
you see what I mean?
they never see the software. They don't know that there is software. All they're seeing is the report that's got your white label on it.
Oh, I see.
So that's
And
all they're
then
seeing. And then the WordPress plugin, it's the same thing.
okay. Now I give them the plugin, they put it in.
Yeah.
And then just I give them like a code to turn their thing on and they just turn it on.
Yeah. You actually just turn it on from your control panel.
I turn on my control. Okay, got it.
Yeah. They're all they have to do is install it.
Okay. So once they install it, do they have to let me know or it's automatically active?
No, you'll see it. You'll see it as installed in the control panel.
Okay. I'll see it's installed. I'll see they're paying their bill and then I don't have to do anything unless they stop paying their bill.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to do anything even at that point, but you have the option.
Yeah. That's that's key. I mean, I worked with a guy once. I had him up doing probably get 25, 30 monthly residual clients who are paying us for services that are similar, like anywhere between like 1,200 and 2,500. And then the guy turned around and said, "Well, my business partner, my new business coach said that I should let you guys go and what you've been doing." I'm like, "Bro, I built your company the last 2 years, you know." And then he turned around and just like kicked me out of the company, and there's nothing I could do about it because it was his company. So um, I guess that's why I'm saying like that. I mean, this I think it's really cool because it kind of protects you from that. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great model. I mean, this is a great model for prospecting, for
mhm.
opening the door to customer acquisition. It's really phenomenal.
Yeah.
John, this really steps into two of your basic foundations for how to run a business, which is number one, get in the door cheap. Because once you're in the door, you're like the landscaper who's really, really good. And then the customer says, I need some electrical work done. Can you do electrical work? And you say, no, but I do have this or whatever.
Yeah,
And it's the other side of it is that, like you said, do you only have one customer and it's one arm, or do you have two customers with two arm, or do you have 1,000 customers? In which case you could lose several hairs and not even notice it. So, I mean, it speaks to
exactly.
two foundational things for the way that you talk about setting up. This is really, really good. And if it does have, you say it also has the SEO tweak built into it as well.
Yeah, it doesn't do any of the SEO work for you, but it gives you the whole outline, what needs to be done, and it gives you actually the training. It literally has the training inside the report of why you need to do it, how you need to do it, the whole enchilada.
Well, this perfectly fits your framework, John. Good job again.
Yeah, no, this one really does. I mean, this fits it to a T.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Daryl, the other Daryl. We got two
Hey, imagine
Daryls
that.
back to
Daryl,
back
Daryl.
again.
Is there a Larry on here today?
A Larry? I don't think we have a Larry in here today.
Okay.
So only the
John, I
old
got a couple
Newhart
of
people
things.
get that joke.
I appreciate the time. All of a sudden my screen went black. But
Yeah, we're still here.
okay. Optimancer. I haven't signed up yet, but I fully intend to. Yesterday I did my first presentation. A month ago I asked you about price for a small business and you quoted 97 a month. So I quoted them 127 And with a membership group discount, because we're in a lead referral group, brought it down to 97. No questions asked. He bought it. So I
Oh,
guess I need to buy it.
awesome. Well, you better get with the program.
So that worked out very, very well. At one point, I also mentioned that your signing up as affiliate page on your website is not very good.
Yes.
Well, I went back to it yesterday, and now I think, see, that has not been improved on. It smells a little bit like a skunk. Just trying to be a little colorful.
Yeah, no,
Um,
that's one of the things I really need to clean that up. We've got so many old offers in there. It's very confusing and
yes, it is.
I need to just go back and clean it
Yeah,
up.
I think it'd be time well spent because if people are like me, the basic, if it doesn't look like it's right, oh well, I'll get to it later, and quite often never do.
Yeah,
So
I've kind of got this weekend set aside for that.
awesome. That
So
would be really wonderful.
yeah,
Now,
I have a lot of cleanup to do this weekend. So
few meetings back, I brought up that particular topic, and you showed two different ways or two different signups to be an affiliate where you're selling product and affiliate where you're selling to other people to be affiliates.
yes, that's
Now,
called
I've
the
got a choice of going back to the recordings or asking you nicely just to present it again. And oh,
sure.
by the way, Richard, I strongly encourage you to watch last week's meeting, the replay, because it would have answered all your questions and more, and probably even raised some more questions. So, can you help me out on
Yeah,
easy
so
way to get the
Yeah,
affiliates?
I've been with John over 15 years on these calls since 2010 when he first brought Rainmaker online. So I've had a couple of surgeries and stuff here recently, so I haven't been on the last couple of weeks, but I've got the link. I'm gonna go see all that store stuff. So thanks.
yeah, yeah. So with the affiliate program, when you go in to get your links, it pops up a box and there's two options. There's two big squares. One of them says affiliate promo and the other one says, I think, JV broker.
Okay, now let me interrupt real quick. Where are you going to see those two options?
So
Are you going to?
you're logging into your affiliate program. It's basically at, let me see where the address is here. Um, let me try and find it.
John, do we have to purchase that affiliate program still, or is that do you just let us sell your stuff now, or do we have to have the affiliate program and the
There,
other software?
there's no cost for our affiliate program. Our affiliate program is free and
You know, John, there's a simple way to make your affiliate program accessible. You know, you come up with a simple domain like simpleeasyaffiliates.com. You can sign up for my affiliate program right now.
yeah, yeah. So
Sorry, I just had to do
Thank
that.
you, Tim.
I've got the link
Hey, this
here.
is Pick on John Day.
I know you guys are rough me up. Go ahead. So this link here, app.karcher.com, that's where our affiliate program lives. If you've already signed up for it, if you're already an affiliate member, you could go there and you could log in directly and get to the affiliate stuff.
Okay, do you have to be a paid member on Kartra to get to
No,
the affiliates?
you
No.
don't have to be a paid
Thank you.
Karcher member. You just have to create an account there so you can log in.
Okay.
Now they will try and recruit you, so just know that, but you don't have to buy anything from them. This is the link. I just put the link in. This is the link on my Internet Dominator page where you can go to actually sign up to be an affiliate for us. And once you sign up, you can pick any product you want. Once you sign up, you get access to sell all of our stuff. So
Awesome.
you don't have to sign up multiple times. But then once you get in there, it'll list the different products in the affiliate program and you click the one that you want to promote and it pops up these two boxes. One of them says affiliate link, get your affiliate link. The other one says become a broker or get your broker link. The broker link is like if you know somebody let's say you know somebody that has a database that they're not going to give you access to, but you could say, hey, there's this cool program. I can get you in as an affiliate and you can make money on it. You give them the broker link and now you become their broker. So it's like a two-stage affiliate system. And typically, the way we do it is we'll give the affiliate 50% on the front and we give the broker 25% on the front. So if it's $100 sale, he's getting 50, you're getting 25, and 25 comes back to the house. And then on the recurring, we also do it on the recurring. Usually the brokers will give like 10% on the recurring. So that's the deal with the broker link. The broker link is not for a particular product. The broker link is to recruit an affiliate for us, and then you get paid on all of their sales. So if you know people that have big lists or have that opportunity, give them the broker link. You literally just step out of the way. You don't have to do anything beyond that point, and you'll make money every time they make a sale.
That's great. Thank you.
So yeah, absolutely. And if you do it right, like if you really want to optimize that, you'll sell them the product first, make the affiliate commission yourself, and then say, by the way, do you want to be an affiliate of this? Here's the link. Just make it easy for them. So then you're getting the full commission on their sale, but then you're getting a broker cut on everything that they sell from that point forward. So that's how to optimize that process. All right. Anything else, Daryl? Has that got you?
You got me. I appreciate it.
All right, Craig, go ahead.
Hey, John, how are you, my friend?
Good, good. Hanging in there.
Good. Question. So you mentioned earlier about uh your web dev and app dev team, which I'm assuming is possibly offshore. Not sure if this is an offline question, but in my situation, looking to scale out and up, um, I would appreciate some guidance or recommendation for securing, application and web development teams and looking for, VAs. Am I looking in the Philippines or
Okay.
uh,
So where
Mexico, Latin America? What are your thoughts on that?
what I've found is for different processes, there's different places that seem to work out better. And I don't really know the reasoning why, but in the Philippines, they're really good for SEO services, for tasks that you train them how to do something and they do it over and over and over. I've found that to be really effective. My dev team is in India. So my
Okay.
whole dev and design team is in India. I tried to get people in the Philippines to do that, and it never really worked out. I was never able to create a high performance team of web developers in the Philippines. Maybe that was just me, I don't know. But I've spent, probably 2 decades developing my dev team, and that is actually available to you on a reseller basis. Like you can buy websites wholesale from me and then resell them. And we don't like Tim does the simple easy stuff. So like he's prospecting customers that just want, a basic site. And that's a big market. But with us, we can do that, but we can also do anything. Like if you want a big full-blown commerce site, my guys can do that. If you want something, built in Drupal, they can do that. If you want, something built in PHP or ASP or whatever, you want, enterprise level development, that's not a problem for my team. It's
Okay.
Actually,
So
John's built websites for my customers. That's what's funny.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah. When
yes.
when it's something that's, beyond what he wants to do,
Just turn it
he
over to John.
he just farms it to me, and the customer has no idea who I am. They're just buying a complicated, simple, easy website from Tim.
All right. Okay. All right. And that's what I'm looking. I'm not looking at it from a for a service for me, but I have no interest in being a heads down back office developer, although I can write code and I can do that. I'm looking at rolling that service up to other clients as we incorporate the AIO and all that other stuff. So I want a single package solution that I can offer clients to satisfy their needs. All
Okay.
right. So that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, so you're basically down to if you want to spend the time and the effort to develop a team that can do it.
Right.
I mean that
Or farm it out to you.
it's not magic. You could definitely do that. Or I've got one if you just want to leverage my team, that's fine too.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe you could toss me an email about how that pricing and arrangement would look like, and we can kind of have a conversation offline. That's a good idea.
Or if you're looking to build just like, cheap and dirty, basic, simple websites, Tim could probably fix you up with that.
And then Tim will even pay you a commission for them. So that's yeah. I got an affiliate program just like John.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you got
Good to
options.
know. Okay. Thank you, sir.
You can either do it the hard way or we got the easy buttons.
My daddy said to always do stuff, work smart, son, not hard. So I like the
Yeah.
easy way.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right.
I'm good, John. Thanks, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, Shima.
Hi, John. How are you doing?
Good.
Okay, I have a question on the Optimancer. So I'm following the ACT program with the ACT with Quantum. So
Okay.
I'm trying to build a marketing strategy for it. So I just need a bit of tip or guidance on how to go about it.
Okay. So are you trying to build like an agency or are you building
Yes,
a site for yourself?
an agency.
Okay. So for an agency, basically you need to just create a menu. You need to decide what you want to offer, and then you create a menu. And one of the things like when I'm creating a menu, I'm looking at when I'm deciding what's going to be on the menu. I'm looking for what can I deliver that I'm going to get a decent profit and I'm not going to have to do much work. So the thing about that is that menu, when you're thinking about the menu, you might think about vendors that you can plug into the menu, which is kind of what I was talking about with Craig there. He might not want to develop a whole dev team, but he might want to offer his customers websites. So that could be a menu item where when he sells a website, he just comes through and he buys the website from me or Tim or any other vendor, delivers it, and he's fulfilled on that menu item.
Mhm.
So that's basically the thing, and that's what you create your marketing out of is off of your menu. What are you providing? What's your value? What do you bring to the table? Why do they want to work with you? So you've got the whole thing. You're developing. It's just like the twins, with their lemonade stand. They've got a menu. They know exactly what they're selling and they know who their customer is. And they came right to him. They were out there. Do you want some lemonade? Sure. So
Okay.
it doesn't have to be complicated. It's just like whenever I'm looking at adding services or something, I'll ask myself, how easy is this going to be to sell? How easy is it to fulfill? And how much profits in it? And I base my decisions kind of on those three things.
Okay.
So I'm always looking for stuff that I can automate. Like I love selling software. Like I absolutely love software because people buy it, they use it, and it doesn't require any effort on my part other than, developing it originally and then maintaining it, which is minimal.
Okay. So at the moment, I use the Quantum to produce all the reports. I followed it. I followed the ACT protocol. Now, I built it on Optimancer. I want to offer it as a service for a start. Then then I can scale from there. So
Okay.
my question is, after developing those documents, like the avatar, the buying triggers,
Uh-huh.
all of them, yep. So what would be the next step after that?
So the next step is basically to create a sales presentation.
Okay,
So the reason that you create the avatar is so you know who you're talking to, you know what's important to them. So when you're writing your copy, when you're creating that sales script, you basically know who you're talking to.
okay,
And you can make a presentation to provide the value. You know what their hurdles are, you know what they're suffering from, all that kind of stuff. So you build that into your presentation with the way you talk to them.
okay,
Like I gave an example of a baseline script earlier in this call when I was talking about, telling them the story about how you've driven all this SEO traffic to your site and nobody wanted to buy. But when somebody comes from AI, they have their credit card in their hand and they're ready to buy because AI told them who to buy from. So they're
okay,
showing up like with the intent to purchase versus somebody coming through a search engine that, they might be a looky-loo, they might be doing research, they're nowhere close to a buying decision. And, you get a bunch of traffic, you pay for a bunch of people to get on the site, but then you don't make any sales. So that could be like the baseline story for a presentation. You say, I had this problem. You describe the problem, they associate because they're having the same problem. And then you say, when I discovered how good the leads were from AI, then all of a sudden now you discovered the secret for them and then they
okay,
want it. And then you make the offer. You say, I found this. I couldn't believe how good it worked. I researched it and then decided, this is too good just to keep for myself. So I created a service around it. And
okay,
that's what I'm offering to you.
okay.
So
Okay,
that's,
the reason I'm asking is because the documents were almost about 10 or 11 documents. There were a lot of them,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I
They
didn't know
all
how to.
they all really are just pieces to give you clarity on how to create your sales script.
Okay,
Like there's one in there that will help you create bonuses, like to
yes,
add extra value. There's one in there that creates, like a frequently asked questions. There's one in there that will create three-dimensionalize your benefits. All of those things are really pieces that you need in your sales presentation. Like you need to be very clear on the benefits of what you do and
okay,
three-dimensionalizing the benefits. Now you've got your benefit stack. So when you're creating your presentation, you can plug that in. Like if you're creating a PowerPoint presentation, a lot of times that's what I'll do. I'll lay this stuff out in a PowerPoint presentation. So I'll go over to, let's say I'm in quantum and I figure, okay, what are the objections? So I find the objections, I plug them into the PowerPoint presentation. What are the overcoming of the objections? What are the benefits? What's the offer look like? So I'm building all those pieces and then I'm formulating them into a presentation. And I like to do it visually with PowerPoint.
okay,
And then once I've got the PowerPoint laid out, and I'll move the slides around to move the order until it comes into like where I can walk through and tell a story based on those
yeah,
visuals. And then once I get that clear in my head, I will either offer a webinar or I'll just open Zoom and turn on the recorder and I'll do the presentation and record it. And then I'll put that on my website as, hey, if you're interested in here, let me show you how it works. And then they watch that video, and at the end of the video, you have a call to action to make the purchase.
yeah,
So that's, and it's very flexible. It's very, It's very fluid. It's a very fluid system. It's not like you go through quantum and you do this, and then you're done. It's giving you all the intel in a way that is very useful for you to use in many different things in your business.
Okay.
Like it's really important for you to understand what your potential customers are experiencing, what they're going through. So that build a buyer profile is that thing is like invaluable. The information it gives you is really, really incredible.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I created that new buying trigger, the new buying trigger icon. It's not even in a folder yet. It's still on the main part of the homepage on the Quantum. That thing is awesome. It will give you all 20 of your buying triggers in one shot. And it even tells you like which ones to couple together for maximum impact. And that's based on that particular business, that that product or whatever.
Yeah.
That's really useful to plug that stuff into your presentation.
Okay.
Like you might decide, hey, I'm going to use the reciprocity buying trigger, and I'm going to give away that free report using Optimancer to create that reciprocity and lean on that. And then I'll couple that with another buying trigger at a different point in the presentation. So it like creates all of the stuff that you should be creating. It just does it for you and makes it so much easier.
Okay.
I mean, think about if you just sat down to try and write a script to sell your stuff and you didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
It would be just like an overwhelmingly impossible task. But if you've got all the pieces and you start plugging them into a PowerPoint presentation, the thing starts taking on a life. And then you're editing it, you're moving it into the right order, and you're optimizing your presentation instead of sitting in front of a blank page going, my God, where do I start? I don't even know what to do here.
Okay.
So it's
So one can plug them into AI and write some prompts, right? I can upload those documents
yeah, absolutely.
and yeah,
Like you
okay.
you could take your buyer profile and you could go to, Chat GPT or Perplexity or whatever you like to use. You can say, here's my buyer, here's my offer. I need to write a sales letter, and you could have it help you write the sales letter for it.
Okay.
Eventually, I'm going to create some tools inside of Quantum that will actually help you do that. I just haven't got to it yet.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
all right, you got it. All right, back to Daryl.
Got it. I just had a quick question in reference to I wrote the question over in here. What was it?
Was it?
Oh,
Was it?
about you mentioned about employees and where a good place is to hire people.
Oh,
We've got here's the question of the day is we got a list of about 5,000 people that have opted in. We have their contact number. A lot of them have their spouse's name, their address, all their stuff. These people are opted in previously because they're interested in getting some kind of like home remodeling thing. Now the list is as old as 5 years old. I mean, some of the list, obviously, we're still getting leads in that right now. This client has never set up any automations at all. It's all been just like they get the lead in, they call it, and that's really about it.
okay.
So there's a lot of gold sitting there, but I want to do it the right way. So I worked with this gentleman named Dale. He actually helped me clean up the list, which was good. Got out any spam traps or got rid of
Yeah.
bad numbers, bad email, stuff we shouldn't actually use. Um, but I want to do it like the right way. What I'm thinking of doing is I can load it into Go High Level so then somebody can actually, I'm thinking just make outbound phone calls to these people, not just blast them with, obviously you can't blast them with text messages if you haven't opted in for it. What I was thinking about is hiring somebody to just make phone calls to get like an initial 15-minute call. So the hook basically is is more so like a concierge service. This time of year in the Northeast, it starts to get cold. People's pipes are going to freeze, that kind of stuff, or whatever it is. So there's definitely a need for it. And it's like just want to get the people somewhat interested and then get them onto a call with one of our sales reps who would be like a design consultant to talk to them about their property and kind of like what they actually need. But I don't want to necessarily just hand this off to somebody just to make phone calls without, I don't know, like you mentioned, like um, how different parts of the world you have better experience. And I agree with what you're saying about the Philippines, but I don't see the Philippines people being the ones who are going to make phone calls and then possibly get the person interested on the phone because the people are from Boston, so they're kind of similar with that kind of New York attitude a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
how would you attack that problem, I guess?
they, yeah, the problem is when you have speech barriers. If you're going overseas, you're gonna have definite language barriers for sure. Um, do you know Jeff Mills?
Yeah, he sounds real familiar. So,
I would look him up, and he has a thing called Smart AI, and it's spelled SMAIRT.
okay.
And it's like an auto dialer type thing. And you can program it with whatever kind of language you want or whatever voice you want. And I gotta tell you, it's pretty damn good.
But
He
is that AI voice that's calling these people?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can have an AI voice call these people. That's not a question. I
yeah,
don't necessarily want to do that because these people, some of the leads are pretty old, and these are individuals that are kind of like high net worth on that side of things.
yeah.
So, I mean, like, I don't want to blow any of these leads basically by just using an AI voice dialer right now.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get that. But that's gonna be a real grind to call
Oh,
those.
100%. Yeah, no question.
But you could in emailing them, I wouldn't like load them up into Go High Level or Kartra or something like that and email them cold.
No, I won't. I'm not doing that. I want to get the people on a phone call, and then the people want us to actually send them a message, and then they start the conversation. It's pretty simple. It's like, John, do you want to find out if your pipes are going to freeze at your house? And you're like, yeah, can you come over? Okay, no problem.
Do
We're
you
gonna,
have do you have
yeah.
their email?
We have their email, we have their phone numbers, we have their addresses, we have everything about them for the most part.
So what you could do, this would probably be the most effective way to do it without trying to kill yourself over it,
Mhm.
is take the list of the emails and load it up into a retargeting
Yeah,
program
campaign. Yeah,
and retarget them to try and get them to a landing page to opt in, and then it's a fresh lead.
yeah,
Then you can attack it. You could also you could take that if the audience, it sounds like the audience is probably on Facebook because of the age and
definitely on
the
Facebook.
so you could also do a lookalike. You could probably do retargeting there as well on
I'll
Facebook.
do a lookalike audience and a custom audience. So
Yeah,
there's enough leads for that.
that's probably what I would do with that.
I'm still going to call these people. I just didn't know if you had any recommendations about other places in the world to get people that are decent on the phone besides the Philippines.
Yeah, no, I don't know about I've never really done the whole call center thing overseas, but I know I've talked to plenty of them and it's pretty irritating because you can't understand them.
Yeah, and that's the thing is the people that we're talking to, they're not going to put up with it.
Yeah,
Just burn lead. So
yeah. So I wish I could help you better on that one, but that one's a little outside of my wheelhouse. That goes over to the field of working way too hard, which I tend to not venture into very
yeah.
often.
Oh, cool. I just thought I'd run it by you.
Yeah, no problem. All
All right,
right,
thanks, John.
Gwen, go ahead. Gwen, are you still there? Well, let me hit Richard, then we'll come back to Gwen.
Hey, John, I a little bit of a shift gear because I had with going over to acquisition air questions, a couple of quick questions is are the augmented leads, in other words, can you get phone numbers and that sort of stuff now? We were talking at one point, you were talking about doing, I haven't, like I said, I haven't been on one of these calls in a couple of months. But I didn't know if there's been any update on getting the higher quality leads where you can actually get good email addresses and good phone numbers and that sort of stuff. Is
They're
that
actually over the last 6 months, they've done quite a few things in the back end to improve upon that stuff. But what we've still found is it's calling the leads for some reason, doing the email and the calling. It hasn't really worked out for too many people unless they're really, really good at it. So I haven't really been steering too many people in the direction of doing that unless I know they can close on cold email.
well,
But
that was my concern is because you and and being good at email today is like being good at horseshoeing. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
the email open rates now have just hit the basement with AI coming online. So
yeah.
and I've never been good at email anyway, but in order to identify the acquisition air people, you said that's because everybody has a marketing ID number. Can that marketing ID number be used for retargeting? Because I bet retargeting would work, but I don't
Well,
know if you got
well,
enough information to do that.
that's actually where we've seen the best results out of acquisition air is people that are creating lookalike audiences. And also the people that are using uh, the site leads, people that are actually on their site, those people tend to respond. But the ones where you're just grabbing them off of, their search behaviors and things, we just haven't seen, I thought that was going to be really good. When I first, saw that coming down the pipe, I'm like, oh man, this is going to change the game. This is going to end SEO. This is, and it just didn't really pan out to be what we thought it was going to be. But like I said, the people that are using it beneficially, they're taking those and they're creating the either retargeting audiences or lookalike audiences, and especially off of the site leads. Because the site leads, that's where you put the code on there and it's almost like a retargeting pixel. And then it's telling you like who actually is on your site. Those people reaching out to them, calling them, emailing them, they tend to respond pretty well, especially if you do it like immediately. That
Is that marketing ID the number you need to be able to retarget them?
you just need their email.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
you're basically just building an email list and you're loading that up into either retargeting or into Facebook or whichever ad platform you want to use.
you said in terms of a lookalike, are I haven't done a whole lot with Facebook ads for a number of reasons, but if when you're saying, can you get a lookalike audience from one person? Is that what you're talking about when you say create a lookalike audience or
You
what?
you need more than one to create an effective lookalike audience. You probably need 1,000, but you can retarget based on a single one. Because if you're retargeting, you're basically loading that email into an ad platform and you're saying, this is the guy we're looking for. If you see him on any websites, let's hit him.
What does it cost you to do a retargeting program? What's kind of a budget should you set aside for that?
Retargeting is incredibly cheap. It's cost per thousand, and I've seen cost per thousands as low as $5. It depends on the market and all that stuff, but I would think like for a client, if you told them, $100-$200 budget on retargeting, that's probably that's going to pad the crap out of it for you.
Yeah, because I the the website leads always seem to me to be the high-end leads as far as acquisition air goes. If you can just set that up and just anybody that lands on the website that comes up, that's got to be a good one, and they're there and they've
Yeah.
made it to your website. That's pretty, as
Yeah.
opposed to just the general search leads.
Yeah,
So
if
okay.
you took that, like let's say you took those leads and you imported those into your Kartra or your Go High Level and had that immediately send out an email response, that's where you're going to see, that's where you're going to see it be productive.
But that email has to be one that's not creepy, like I just saw you were on my website type of thing. It has to be a more generic thing based on the topic, not based on the fact that are you following me around on the web or something like that.
I think people are much more used to that than you think.
I remember one of Frank Kern's lines many, many years ago is I'm watching what you're doing. It was actually in the email,
Yeah.
Richard. And I remember Frank doing that. And I thought that was blunt honesty, but I mean, I kind of was, because I kind of expected it. And I don't know if your audience would expect it or not.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I heard people tell me at a certain point in time that I'll never put my credit card online. Right? And now you try and take their Amazon account away and they'll shoot you dead. But I get those all the time. Like I've can't tell you how many times I've seen an email come through that said, it said something like, "Oh, what did we do wrong?" Or, "It looks like something went wrong, you were trying to order this product or something." I was just looking at it to see what the price was. I wasn't actually trying to order it. So I closed out the browser. And then I'll get an email like, "Oh, it looks like something went wrong with your order. Here's a link to pick up where you left off." I don't think that's creepy in any way, shape, or form. I mean, yeah, I was on their site,
There
they
was a product that you gave us one time, John, and I can't remember what it was. And you told us, go to the site, look at it, open up the cart, and then shut the site down. And the next day, ads show up on Facebook and an email comes, hey, would you like this for a lifetime deal of $39? And
yeah,
I don't remember
yeah.
what the product was,
That
but
was that was that cartoon. It made cartoon videos.
was it? I thought, yeah, okay. I
Toonly.
don't remember what it was, but yeah.
Yeah, that was Toonly.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, they were selling it for like, I think they were selling it for $49 a month. And then if you did what I told you, it would give you an ad for $69 for life.
Mhm, mhm.
They figured they couldn't sell it to you, at a monthly. They might as well get you for something on the way out the door.
I have that.
Tinley, yeah, it's a cool
Hmm.
program.
It was called Doodly.
Doodly,
It
Doodly.
started, yeah, Doodly. Then they went to Toonly, and now they're called Creative Suite.
Okay, yeah, that's
Hmm.
that's right. It
They've
was
moved up to
Doodly.
Pixar level.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually have it. I haven't looked at it in years, but I bought it and I
Mhm.
actually made, if you go to site-pop.com, there's a video in there showing how SitePop works, and it's my voice, but it's the Doodly cartoon video. It's pretty cool. So, all right, let's go back to Gwen.
Yay, I'm back. Just stepped out for just a second and I heard you at the very end, but we'll come back to Gwen. I'm like, dang, I missed it.
No worries.
I got kind of two questions. One, is there a link to that optimizer page that you showed briefly that you were playing with? Is that up yet, or are you going to be putting that up?
The one with the copy that I made
Yeah,
from AI?
yes, because I'm looking at doing the benefits stacker and trying to build a kind of a
Oh, okay.
general sales page for it.
I will
I
put,
thought that would make it easy.
yeah, I'll put it in the chat. It's in the chat now for you.
Perfect. Okay. Because I looked up optimize. Oh, I spelled it wrong. That's why. Okay.
Mhm.
It's
Optimizer.
Optimancer. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I was putting the word
Optimizer.
answer in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a romancer. It's there to romance the AI to get it to fall in love with you.
There you go. That's a good way to think of it.
Optimancer.
And then I know when you presented Optimancer, you had the three levels, the 25, the 97, and I forgot the other one. 120 or something.
Yeah.
But can you run reports on all of them or just the bigger two?
You can run reports on all of them. So on the base one where it's just for one site,
Mm-hmm.
you basically set up your site, whichever site you want to start with, and then there's a tab in there after you run your report and it's completed. There's a tab to run a report for a competitor site.
Okay.
So you can run, as many competitor reports as you want. And you could use those competitor reports as prospecting tools if you wanted to.
Okay. Because that's what I was thinking, is trying to sell it before I buy it type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, those are my two main questions at this point.
Okay, well, cool. All right, it looks like we've got everybody all up to speed and taken care of. So great call. We covered a lot of good stuff here. Hopefully you guys like the story about the two little girls selling me lemonade. I think it definitely had some key points in there that are very valid. But I mean, where we started this call off, I just want to circle around to that one more time before I leave you for this week. And the whole point of this was it's about making sales. If you're not making money in your business, it's because you're not selling stuff. And there's a couple of ways to do that. Either you can do it yourself, you can go belly to belly and sell one at a time, or you can get on a stage and you can get somebody to put you on their stage to their audience and you can sell mass off, one presentation, and you could get a bunch of sales. Or you could do a webinar and you could send paid traffic to it, or you could get some influencer that already has a list and get them to promote you and do a webinar to their audience. I mean, those are the main ways that I know of that are easy and everybody can do. But if you're not doing that, if you're not making sales, you're not bringing money into your business. So you've got to figure that out. And I know there's a lot of people that I'll talk to them and they're like, "Yep, all right, I'm going to go do it." And then I talk to them a week or two later and I'm like, "Well, how'd it go?" And they're like, "Well, I have to do this first, or I have to do that first." Bullshit. You don't have to do anything. You have to go ask if they want your lemonade. Once they say yeah, then you got to do something. You don't have to have anything. Like, how many times have I told you guys I have offered things that I didn't have yet to see if someone would buy them? And guess what? If they didn't buy it, I wouldn't make it. I'm not going to spend my time making something I can't sell. So if you can't sell it before you make it, there's no reason to make it, right? Get out and sell something, even if it doesn't exist. Just be honest about it. Tell them, hey, I'm thinking about making this. If you want to be in on the first round, you get a better price. And if they say, yeah, and they write you a check, then you go and build it. Don't take their word for it. I can't tell you how many mastermind groups I've been in when somebody goes in there and they give their idea and everybody says, "Oh, yeah, I'd buy that." And then they build it and none of those people buy it because they didn't want it. All they wanted to do was pat you on the back and encourage you. But you don't want encouragement, you want money. So nothing says yes like them handing you a check. That tells you their level of intent. If they don't want it, they're not going to pay you for it. Although they'll tell you it's a great idea and they'll tell you they would buy it if you had it because they know you don't, that's not the way you want to take that. That's not your approach. Your approach is, I'm thinking about building this. It's going to come out on this day. If you want in, I'll give you a discount on it if you want to be in on the first round of initial development. you actually become part of the program. You're helping fund it to actually bring it to life. People will get on board with that. And if they don't, they're not going to buy it after it's built. They're not going to pay more for it. So just start selling something. Figure out what you want to sell and go sell it. I don't care if it's done. It could be half-ass, might be in process. If you can't sell it, stop building it. Don't waste your time. Figure out what you can sell and work on that. Or find somebody that has it and go sell it for them. Yeah. But
John,
that's
can I give you a little nugget here that I've just heard? Apparently, YouTube is really changing a lot of stuff because they're doing all kinds of things because they are not getting enough creators creating enough content. And so if you create content, they're starving for content at this point. And they're saying, if you have a webinar, a presentation of anything you're talking about, do a YouTube video and put it on YouTube. Don't pay for an ad, put it up there. And if someone's looking for what you want to do, YouTube will show it to them, and you didn't have to pay for it.
yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of different ways, but you gotta make an offer. You gotta sell your stuff one way or another. Jerry, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I just had a question. Could you explain a little bit more what you're going to do in your 3-day event in
Yeah.
December? And is it going to be at a hotel or is it going to be on your boat? Could you say more about it?
This is going to be a little bit different. Let me find it here. For those of you that didn't see this I just sent this out, and this is basically thanks to Kevin. Kevin was like, I need a date. Let's do an event. So I said, well, you pick a date and I'll do an event. So he picked a date. It's the 5th to the 7th, and it's actually going to be at my house.
Hmm.
So there's a picture of my house, which you can't see through the jungle. So we're going to be doing it there. And this is like a, I'm not going to say it's a done for you, but it's for 6 people, and we're going to be covering like how to make money with stuff. And the three main topics is going to be like how to make money with bots, how to do white label, like how to take the quantum suite and turn that into a business if you want to do that, or running an AI agency, which obviously would be running Optimancer and SitePop. So it's, for the most part, it's showing you how to use my stuff and using me as a vendor. And I'll probably throw stuff in there about, the websites too. But it's basically how to leverage me as a vendor to take what I can do for you and go out and make money with it. And like if you want to do the white label thing, I've got all the docs. We could easily in one day of that get you up and running with a white label, if you want to do that. Or I can help you get, the white label done on Optimancer. So that's kind of what it's all about. Anybody that wants that help, that assistance, it's $9.97 for 3 days, and it's going to be limited to 6 people at my house in Huntington Beach. So it's, I used to do a lot of these before the pandemic. I did like, probably one of these every other month. And I haven't done anything for a long time at my house. I've done a lot of stuff on the boat, but
Mhm.
this one's going to be indoors.
So, John, do you have to be super techie
No,
to be able to do this?
no, not at all. Not at all. Um, there's really nothing techie about this. What you need to do is you need to be willing to make sales. If you're looking to, like, sell any of that stuff, like sell bots, make money with bots, make money with optimization, make money with selling websites, that's what it's going to be focused on. I'm basically gonna show you how to bring money in that we can share, basically. So that's what it's all about.
Thanks.
And I sent that out. I think you guys all probably should have got that link. If you didn't, I'll put it in the chat here. So, and I'm going to do a bunch of events. I'm going to get back on that track of doing, more of those. I'm probably not going to do any like hotel stuff where we've got a bunch of people, although Chris is really pushing me to want to do that. He wants to do a big event and have me train for 3 days on basically back to the basics on SEO, which I used to do those too. I'd do once a year. I would fill a hotel and it always sold out every year. It was called SEO Reboot. And it amazed me. People would come from all over the world to that event. And I would just throw it all out the window. I'd say, hey, we're starting from scratch. This is the way you're going to do SEO for the next 12 months. And I'd just teach them from the ground up. Here's the new deal. Here's what we're doing. So Chris is wanting me to do that again. Optimizer, it's got all the training built into it. So I told him, I go, you really don't need me to do that. And he's like, well, everybody's going to want to learn it from you. So I'm like, all right. So we'll probably wind up doing that at some point. But anyway, that's it. That's all I got for you for this week. Anything before we wrap up? Did that answer your question, Jerry? All right, cool. Well, guys, have a great week and we will talk to you next week back at our regular time. I hope this was helpful. I want you guys to sell some stuff. I want you to make some money. So I hope this was the push you needed. All right, guys, have a great week. We will talk to you soon.